Well, I hope this movie doesn't diverge too much from the book. Sorry. Divergent is directed by Neil Berger, stars Shailene Woodley, Theo James, Miles Teller, and is based on the young adult novel by Veronica Roth. This movie is about a post-apocalyptic world where there are 5 factions, that you choose from when you... I don't really know what, honestly, because they don't say in the movie, but I assume it's like when you come of age, or maybe it's when you, like, become a teenager. They never really say. They just say there's this ceremony thing, and, you know, they go and they choose the faction they want to be a part of. They choose what faction they're going to be a part of after they take a test, which tells them which faction they should be a part of. Which also makes it a little pointless that then they can choose to ignore that. Anyway, basically, this girl, Triss, played by Shailene Woodley, who's the main character, she takes a test and finds out that she is applicable to any of the groups and is in fact a divergent. Basically, that means she cannot be controlled by the government. So she has to hide the fact that she's a divergent and joins the group Dauntless, which are basically the cool kids. They do parkour, they play capture the flag, awesome capture the flag, and they are the soldier protectors of the city. And of course, because we can't have a young adult novel movie without this, she meets a boy named 4. Yeah, 4, like the number. It's stupid. He meets a boy named 4, and of course, at first, they don't really get along, but then they come together, fall in love, whatever. You knew what's going to happen. Now, the acting in this movie isn't the greatest. Shailene Woodley is easily the best part of this movie. She's actually an incredible actress. I want to see more with her in it. She was in Fault in Our Stars also. She did a really great job there. I want to see her in more movies now. Miles Teller is in this movie too, and he's a good actor. He's the character that antagonizes Triss and stuff. He's not bad in this movie. Kind of the weak link of the main characters, or at least really, is Theo James, who's the love interest to Triss by the end of this movie. He's just very one-note. He's not really a good actor at all, really. The directing and writing in this movie aren't bad. Any problems with the script? It feels like maybe they're coming from the book, but hey, maybe the book actually explains some of them better. Like, for instance, the whole, why bother having this test if you're just going to choose what faction you want to belong to anyways? Maybe that's explained better in the book why that is. But if it's not, then that's probably more of a problem with Veronica Roth's novel than the movie. As you can tell, I haven't read the book, so I don't know. As I mentioned before in the plot summary, this is an obvious copycat of the Hunger Games. You have the post-apocalyptic government who have this weird government setup that affects teenagers and people, weirdly, and forces them to, act certain ways, and basically controls how people are. There's 12 districts, 5 factions. You have the girl who's going to overthrow the government because she is rebellious and is a good leader and doesn't take crap from the government. You have the love interest of 2 people that at first don't really want to be together at all, or at least, in Hunger Games, it's one of them, whatever. But anyway, they don't want to be together at all, but by the end, of course, they are. Also, there's other moments in this movie that are, like, obviously pandering to the teenage demographic, that it actually becomes hilarious. Like, the obvious, shots and some of these lines that are so cheesy and you would only hear them in a young adult novel. I can't remember any off the top of my head, but I was laughing during these moments. One of the scenes that was so obviously pandering that just had me cracking up was when 4 is going to show Triss his tattoo and takes off his shirt. I was just watching this movie like, are you freaking kidding me? It's so obviously pandering to teenage girls. Like, oh my god, you might as well have just put a big neon sign that said, "We are pandering." Are we so subtle with our pandering? Oh my god. Oh my god. I've seen more subtle pandering in a freaking Michael Bay movie. That's more subtle pandering in Transformers. Anyway, on with the rest of the review. The cinematography isn't that bad, but it doesn't really stand out. There's some obvious CGI shots, but then there's some nice shots, like when there's a scene that's like initiation into Dauntless where Triss goes on a zip line from a really high point all the way to the ground. And there's some nice aerial shots there. I like that. There's some good stunt work, like the fight scenes, and again, the jumping and the parkour in this movie. Like, there's some good moments in this movie. You know, I mentioned some of the problems in this movie, but there are also parts of this movie that I like. Like, Triss, she's a strong female lead. She kicks some butt once she starts learning how to fight. Yeah, at first she does get her butt kicked, and that, you know what, humanizes her. And, you know what, even the love story wasn't too bad. Theo James, if he was a better actor, I would have sold it better, honestly. But it was well enough written and directed that I went along with it as much as I needed to enjoy the movie. So overall, it's not a great film, but it's not a bad film either. I'd give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's alright. So that was my review of Divergent, and stay tuned for my review of the sequel, Insurgent, that just came out. And please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Peace.